Hey everybody, it is nostalgia time once again, and in our last episode, we took a look at the Expire X series of laptops. So, this time around, we're beginning our 2-episode process of officially finishing off the Acer series of computers. And it all begins with a look at the Aspire 7250, which, just like the Expire X 3400, came with Windows 7 Home Premium 64. So at this point, we know what the setup screens are going to look like, so let's just skip right to the out-of-box experience after this time lapse. So, about 2 hours later, we're finally at the out-of-box experience on this one. So this is a much newer model, judging by the newer Acer logo. And this should be Service Pack 1. I will call this Aspire 7250. Considering that is the new logo, yep, that indeed is Service Pack 1. We will set it to Central Time. And yes, the time is actually correct. And now to the desktop. Alright, so another 30 minutes later and all that software has been installed. So here we are at the desktop. And already I like the picture they chose by default for this. So pretty much these are the same exact programs that we've been seeing on all those other Acers. Like this Netflix shortcut here, ClearFile, all the games. Speaking of the games, let's see what they have included. There's Adobe Reader 10, and there's Foos Kids, which we actually took a look at earlier in the series. We tried to take a look at it, but unfortunately their servers are long dead. And there's all the Live Essentials that comes pre-installed. I believe the version of Live Essentials on here is 2012. Or is this still Live Essentials 2011? Well, we'll find out when it actually starts. But until then, let's take a look elsewhere. Oh yeah, that's right. We don't have the proper video driver. But no big deal. There's Windows Live stuff. As I said earlier, we got the full version of Skype. It looks like NTI Backup Now is no longer included. We now have NTI Media Maker version 9 included on this. There's Norton's Online Backup. There's the News Espresso, McAfee's Family Protection. And then these are all the games that are included both from Acer and what is included by default in Windows 7. So there's Virtual Villagers and Zuma and Wedding Dash and Slingo and all that good stuff. Dual Match 3, I believe that is... It doesn't look like it wants to show a description, but I'm guessing it's one of the many Match 3 games that are out there, like Candy Crush and etc. Well, Candy Crush, just to name one of them. It's got to look for an update before that tool launches for the first time. There's Evernote, which requires a sign-in. There's the WinLocker, ClearFile. Here's the user guide for the system. So why don't we take a look at that user guide. So there's Adobe Reader 10 from 2011. First, let's look at the screensaver it installed to the system. So there's the spinning Acer logo, and then it shows the slideshow of the backgrounds. Essentially, these are actually the same ones that came with the machine. Yeah, and this is why I don't like emulating 64-bit OSs on virtual machines. I prefer the 32-bit architecture. But nonetheless, so it looks like it does come with 2 other wallpapers, and I believe we have seen many of them already. And we gotta accept the terms and conditions in order to view that document. And here's the third one, which is in black. I do actually like all those backgrounds, but we're going to set it back to the blue that we had earlier. So here is the user guide for the system. It looks like it does show it in multiple languages. It shows it in English, French, Spanish. It talks about replacing the battery pack, hazards and Energy Star compliance and safety measures and all that stuff. And then how you should take care of the major components of the computer. And then talking about the FI Media Center and everything like that on the system. So yeah, essentially a basic overview of the device. Let's see what Dual Match 3 is about. And I can tell that this is an updated Wild Tanget menu, considering that this is 2011. So this is actually a free full version. However, it is free for, I believe, about 2 or 3 sessions, as I explained earlier on in the series. However, we have a exception access violation error and the game fails to start. That could most likely be because there is no proper video driver on the system. And once a proper video driver is installed, then we will be able to run the game. So unfortunately, we can't take a look at that, but that's all right. Because that brings this episode to a close. So, in our next episode, we are going to officially conclude the massive series of Acers that began back in like episode 27. So that was a long time ago when we last started this whole thing, and we're finally nearing the end. So, until then, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.